We know how wars cause so much despair, loss, and destruction. But did you know a world war actually saved an iconic landmark? That's right, folks. The world wouldn't have the Eiffel Tower now if it weren't for the war. Hello and welcome to our channel. In this video, we'll take you on an express journey through time and tell you the fascinating story of the Eiffel Tower, why it was made, and how World War I actually saved it. We'll also tell you about an apartment on top of the tower. So if you're curious to know more about this iconic French landmark, then stay with us till the end. Unlike today, when we have all the technology, materials, and equipment available to build impossible-looking structures, it wasn't the case in the 19th century. No fancy cranes or heavy-duty equipment, you see? In the late 19th century, France was preparing to host the 1889 Exposition Universelle, a world's fair commemorating the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. And for that, they needed a showstopper, a striking centerpiece that would impress everyone who saw it. This is how the discussion started leading up to the conception of the Eiffel Tower. Its design is credited to engineers Maurice Coquelin and Émile Naguère, both affiliated with the Compagnie des Établissements Eiffel, a French engineering and construction company responsible for designing and building the Eiffel Tower under the leadership of Gustave Eiffel. In May 1884, Coquelin sketched the tower's concept, describing it as a monumental pylon with 4 lattice girders diverging at the base and converging at the apex, interconnected by regular metal trusses. Gustave Eiffel wasn't impressed at first, but later he thought, hey, why not? Little did he know, he was about to begin building a monument that will still be an icon more than 136 years later. After some careful thought about the tower's placement, a contract was signed on January 8, 1887. It cost about 8 million francs, or $1.5 million, to build the tower at that time, which amounts to $44 million now. Gustave formed a separate company to manage the tower, contributing half of the required capital himself. The tower was going to become France's symbol and go down in history as the most visited monument with an entrance fee in the world. Did you know that about 7 million people visit this beauty every year? That's right. Ever thought of anyone who would say, nah, this structure isn't worth it? Well, actually, there were tons of such criticisms. Many people thought it was impossible to build something that tall, a whopping 330 meters. To put that in perspective, no one had ever built anything even close to 200 meters tall at the time. Critics called it a half-built factory pipe, a truly tragic street lamp, and a pyramid of iron ladders, and considered the construction just plain undoable. But Gustave held his ground firm and had a clever comeback. He compared his tower to the mighty Egyptian pyramids. Construction of the tower began on January 28, 1887, and it took 22 months to build the tower from the bottom to the top. The main structural work was completed in March 1889 and opened to the public on the same day as the World's Fair on May 15, 1889. What's incredible is that not a single construction worker out of 300 lost their lives while working on this mega project. Amazing! To build the tower, Gustave selected a special type of wrought iron known as puddle iron, which, according to him, was the sturdiest and most reliable building material in the world. After completion, it held the status of the world's tallest structure until 1929, when the Chrysler Building was built in New York. Fun fact, before taking on the name of its creator, the Eiffel Tower was called the 300-meter tower. In terms of weight, the Eiffel Tower tips the scales at a colossal 10,100 tons. The structural metal framework alone is 7,300 tons, and an additional 60 tons is the weight of all the paint that protects it from rusting. In fact, the tower is repainted every 7th year and has been painted at least 19 times since it was built. If you look closely, you'll notice that there are 72 names of different French scientists, engineers, and mathematicians engraved on the sides of the tower under the first balcony in recognition of their contributions. You gotta give credit where credit's due, right? Other than its visible architectural beauty, the Eiffel Tower also has a not-so-secret apartment at the very top, just above the observation deck. What? Yes, there is an apartment created by Gustave Eiffel himself, not to live in, but as a private retreat to host esteemed guests and scientists. He used this 100 square meter space to demonstrate the tower's scientific capabilities, to perform experiments, and to have the best sweeping view of Paris through its large windows. It had a workshop, living space, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, and even a piano. Gustave turned down numerous requests from the general public who wished to visit the apartment, as he valued his privacy. But Thomas Edison is known to have visited the apartment along with his new invention, the phonograph, as a gift to Eiffel. So, can you visit it today? Unfortunately, no. Hold on. You can still have a look inside through a glass divider showcasing lifelike wax mannequins of Eiffel, his daughter Claire, and Thomas Edison. Here's something else you can do. You can hit the like button if you're enjoying this video and subscribe to our channel for more informative videos. Now let's continue. Did you know the Eiffel Tower wasn't meant to stick around? Yup, originally it was permitted to stand for just 20 years and then get scrapped in 1909 when its ownership would revert to the city of Paris. Gustave had to think hard if he wanted his elegant masterpiece to live on. So what did he do? He used a scientific approach to saving it. It was the age of groundbreaking inventions, so he used the height and strategic location of the tower as its lifeline. Gustave built an antenna on top of the tower and launched a series of successful wireless experiments which caught the attention of the French military. This convinced them, and the army set up a permanent radio station at the tower. The tower's antenna facilitated crucial military communication, connecting with troops in the field and enabling France to intercept enemy messages. When World War I erupted, the tower's role as a radio transmitter became extremely important for communication with ships and intercepting transmissions. The tower's powerful radio transmitter jammed German communications, so they couldn't advance on Paris. A crucial German message that was intercepted using the tower's radio station said that the German general had run out of feed for his horses and would have to delay his arrival. Taking advantage of this delay, the French army sent 5,000 troops to the place where the German force was stationed and won. This proves that the Eiffel Tower wasn't just a fancy, purposeless monument. However, over time, the tower's existence faced more threats. At the tail end of World War II, Hitler ordered the destruction of Paris. But thankfully, the governor of the city chose not to go forward with the command, and therefore we still have the Eiffel Tower today. It would have been such a disaster if we'd lost it, right? The Eiffel Tower looks beautiful to gaze at in the daytime, but at night it's even better. Every evening, its lights light up for 5 minutes every hour on the hour, thanks to its 20,000 flashbulbs. But if you see any lit-up photos of it at night, remember that they are actually illegal. Why? Because the illumination of the Eiffel Tower is protected by copyright due to its artistic and creative nature. The lighting displays on the tower involve intricate and imaginative designs that are considered original works of art. But no one has ever tried to track down millions of people who have shared nighttime photos of the illuminated tower online. Originally, the tower was reddish-brown in color, which shifted to bronze in 1968. Now, there's an exciting update. In the preparation for the Paris Summer Olympics 2024, the tower is set to be painted a vibrant gold temporarily. This renovation marks one of the most extensive facelifts the iconic structure has seen in its 130-year history. So, have you had the honor of visiting this historic piece of art? Tell us about your experience in the comments section. Share the video with others, and if you haven't already, do consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in another video very soon.